Hi, let's talk about the REST endpoints. What is REST? REST stands for Representational State Transfer. It is the architectural style of sending communication between the distributed systems. It casts a set of constraints for the communication. The communication must be stateless, so it shouldn't save any client context, and we should have a uniform interface. So the REST endpoint is a web service that you will introduce on a server side for the clients to communicate with a complex system. So the backend will serve a REST endpoint as an API for the system. This REST endpoint will communicate with the database and will serve some data to the client. What are principles of REST? It should have easily understood directory structure URLs for resources. It should transfer JSON or XML to represent the data objects. The messages should use the HTTP method explicitly, for example, get, put, delete. The stateless interactions cannot store any client information. So the client context will only be held on the session state. The client can hold the session state. What are the REST HTTP methods? The HTTP methods, we map the DB CRUD operations like create, update, delete into HTTP requests. As you can see on the picture here, we can have the get for returning all of the entities, and post for new entry, get to return only a single ID of the already stored information, put to update already existing one only entity, and delete to delete some ID from the entities. When do we use get HTTP request? So we use it to retrieve some information, and the result must be always the same. So we make the URL like you can see here with the ID at the end, and it will return you this ID, entity associated with this ID. When do we use post HTTP request? We use it for creating or updating an object into an entity when we do not know the ID. So the URL in that case doesn't contain the ID at the end. When do we use the delete HTTP request? We also we need to have the ID at the end of the URL, and it will delete the address of this one ID. What are the HTTP status codes? We have the status codes which contains 3 digits. The first digit informs you of the type of the HTTP status code. The 1 is informational, 2 is a success, 3 redirection, 4 a client error, and 5 a server error. How to tell that the client made the type of the request? The content HTTP headers can be used to describe the content being sent or requested within an HTTP request. The client may set accept to application JSON if it's requesting only a response in JSON. That's it about the REST endpoints. Thank you.